functions returns what? Records. Return type must be table. Return expression must be select statement. Return type must be table. Return expression must be select statement. Okay, then now, so let's see. So what is the syntax is? Syntax: create or alter function, function name, in brackets, parameters, returns table. Return type is fixed. What is the return type? Must be table. Return type is fixed, that is table. As, and this function allows only one statement. This allows only one statement. That statement is what? Return statement. Okay, na? Allows only one statement, that is return. You cannot write multiple statements. You write only one statement, return statement. What the return statement is? Select statement. What is the return expression? So return expression must be select statement. Here you write select statement. Select statement. No. Example. Example. Then example. So now let's see this. What? Create a function that accepts department number. Create a function that accepts department number and returns a list of employees working for the department. Create a function that accepts department number, returns list of employees working for the department. Okay. Then create a function that accepts department number, so returns list of employees working for the department. Then what? Create or alter function, function name, get emp list. Create or alter function, function name, get emp list. So see what this function has to, this function input to the function is what? Department number. What function should return? Employees list. Employees list means records. Employee records. You want to return the records from function. To return the records from function, you have to go for table value. You want to return single value. See the previous yesterday's example. So first I created one function. I created what this is returning: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. You are returning only one value. And here also this is returning only one string. The string contains name separated by comma, but you are returning one string or multiple strings. One string, one value. Here also you are returning what? Order amount. What you are returning is order amount. You are returning the order amount. What is the order amount? One value. So in all these three functions, you are returning one value. But here you are returning what? Records. You are returning the records. So to return the records, then take what? Table value. You want to return the employees data, employees list. Okay, then so what should be the input to the function is department number. What function returns? Employees list. Returns what? Table. Always return type must be table, and it allows how many statements? One statement. What that must be? Return statement. What is the return statement? Select statement. What do you want to return? employees working for specific department. Then how to get the list of employees working for specific department? You have to write a query. Select what? Star from EMP, where department number equals to @D. So the value passed to D is 20. What this query returns? This query what gives employees working for 20. So function also returns employees working for 20. The value passed to D is 30. This query returns employees working for 30. The function also returns employees working. What function returns is this query output. What function returns is query output. This query output. This query output is written. It will return this query output to the main program. Wherever you call the function, so that this query output is written to that program. Okay, that's all. So let me create this function. Let me create the function. Function is created. Function is created. Commands completed successfully. Function is created. Next, after creating the function, I want to execute this function. Then, now, let's see execution. Let's see execution. After creating the function, I want to execute the function. Execution. Let's see. Okay, na? Then. So, and one more thing, sir, table valued functions, how you call a scalar valued function? Previous, how you execute the function? You created one function, how you execute that function? Then you created a function, CALC. Yes or no? First one, select what? DBO dot CALC 1020. Next one, star. So what this gives? 10 and 20 is what? Multiplied. Returns 200. Yes. So what this function is? This function is what? Scalar valued. Scalar valued functions are called in select. The scalar valued functions are called in what? Select. But this is what? Table valued function. Table valued functions are called in from class. Scalar valued functions are called in what? Select class. Table valued functions are called in from class. So, sir, here, see, this returns one value. You call it in select, but this returns what? Records. Records. This returns what? Records. Actually, in from what you write? Actually, usually in from what we write? You write what, sir? Table name. What is table contains? Records. Table contains records. This function also returns what? Records. So that's why you call that function here. That means this function acts like a what? Table. This function acts like a what? Table. Okay. Then now, for that point here, then so table valued functions. Okay. Then the table valued functions are called in, okay, na, from class. The table valued functions are called in from class. Okay. Then now let's see how to execute. Select what? Okay, na? Select, then star from, what is the function name? What is the function name? What is the function name, boss? Get EMP list. Function name is what? Get EMP list. Function name is get EMP list. So select star from DBO dot what? Get EMP list. What should be passed to the function? Department number. I'm passing the department number 20. So what this 20 is passed to what? @ D. Now this query is executed. Select star from EMP department number equals to 20. What this query returns? Employees working for 20. So function returns what? Employees working for 20. So this function returns employees working for 20. Then suppose there are 5 employees working for 20. There are 5 employees working for what, sir? 20. So then now, like what I said, this function acts like a what? Table. This is like a table. Now this table contains how many rows? 5 rows. The select statement displays how many rows? 5 rows. If you write select star from EMP, what it displays? All the rows in EMP table. EMP table contains 14 rows. It will show 14 rows. But this function returns what? 5 rows. The select statement displays 5 rows. Okay. Then so this function acts like a table for select statement. So there are 5 employees working for 20. If I pass 30, then I'll pass 30. Then what? I'll pass 30. Then what this gives? Employees working for what? 30. So 30th department. All these employees belongs to 30th department. I give 10. So employees working for 10. I give 40. Employees working for 40. No employee. Because there is no record. Okay, na? Then that's all. So this is how to create plus how to execute. Okay, then now that's all. This is what and how to execute this function. So this is one example. Let's take one more example. Example 2. Now, okay, then so for example, see, I want to display top 5 employees. Then how to display the top 5 employees? How to display the top 5? One using top class, not the top class. Distinct. I want to top 5 employees. Top 5 employees based on salary. Top 5 employees based on salary. First, to find top 5 employees, first find the ranks of the employees. If you find the ranks, then finding the top 5 employees is easy. How to find the ranks? What? Select what? Number, name, salary. There is a function, dense rank function, over, then order by salary descending as rank from EMP. So what this gives? each and every employee rank 1, rank 2, rank 3, rank 4, rank 5, like this. So it is showing each and every employee rank. But I don't want all the employees. I want only top 5 employees. Then if you want top 5 employees, select rank up to 5. Select what? Rank up to 5. Select what? Rank up to 5. Then so where? See, select up to 5. Select rank up to 5. Where RNK less than or equals to 5. If you say RNK less than or equal to 5, then you'll get top 5. Yes, but it gives error. Why? You know the reason. RNK is what? What is RNK is? Alias. Alias cannot be used in where class. Alias cannot be used in what? Where? Because and why? Because you know the reason. The problem is order of execution. So here, which is executed first? So where you declared RNK? Where you declared the RNK? Declaration. Where you declared the RNK? Select. You declared RNK in select. Yes or no? In select only you declared. So dense rank is RNK. You declared in select. You are using in where? Declared in select. User in where? Where in select, which is executed first? Where is executed first? This is executed first. At the time of executing where class, SQL Server don't know what is RNK because it is declared in what? Select. But select is executed after where? Understood? Then this gives what? Error. This gives error. Yes or no? Then invalid column name RNK. Problem is order of execution. Bas first anything. First declare, then use. But here what? First you are using. After that you are declaring. That is not possible. First declare, then use. Then what you do? There is a call derived tables. There is a call what? Derived tables or CTEs. That is what we discussed. Yes or no? CTEs are derived tables. Then use derived table. How to use derived table? Then like this. So select what? Star from. Select star from. Then what? Select star from. Then select from what? EMP. Next one as E. As E. Now it will work. Yes, because where you declared the RNK, where you declared the RNK, inner query. Where you declared the RNK, inner query. Where you used RNK, outer query. Declared in inner query, used in outer query. Outer query, inner query, which is executed first? Inner query. Inner query is executed first. At the time of executing outer query, SQL Server knows what is RNK. Understood? Then. So then, like what this gives? So this gives what? The top 5 employees. Okay, now top 5 employees. Understood? First finding the ranks. After finding the ranks, selecting first to 5. So this gives top 5 employees. But here, see, I want to make this value dynamic. I want to make this value what's it? Dynamically, I want to pass the value. Here always this query returns top 5. But sometimes I want top 10, top 3, top 5, top 2. So it depends on the value. I want to pass value to this. I want to make this value dynamic. If you want to make this value dynamic, then create a table valued function. Create what's it? Table valued function. How? Like you create like this. What is create or alter function? Get what? Get get top n employee list. Get top n employees list at the rate what's that? N. N integer. What is the return type? Table as what? return statement. What is the return statement? Return statement is what? Select statement. What is the return statement? Return statement is what? Select statement. Then now, one second. See this. So then so now close the brackets. Okay. Yes or no? Then so this function is returning this. What this query returns? Function return this query output. What is the query output? Top 5. But what is your requirement? Why you are creating the function? Because you want to make this value what's it? Dynamic. Then use what? At the rate what's it? N. At the rate n. The value passed to n is 5. Then what is this query returns? Top 5. The value passed to n is 10. This query returns what? Top 10 employees. Finding the top n employees becomes what's it? Easy. Okay, now one second. And another advantage of creating this function is now after creating this function is created. Okay, then function is what's it? Created. After creating the function, so whenever you want top n employees list, you don't need to write this query. When you want top n employees list, you don't need to write this query. Simply write what? Select star from dbo dot what? Get top n employee list 5. Simply call like this. Then so instead of writing this complex query, you can write simple query like this. Now what this gives? So this gives what? Top 5 employees. This gives top 5 employees. I say 3 here. Then I say 3 here. Then what? Top 3. 1, 2, 3. If I say 3 here, this query returns top 3 employees. Okay. Understood? Then no. So now what is create a function? Create a function to return top n employee list. Create a function to return top n employees list. Create a function to return top n employees list. Actually, have you started? Okay, na? You want top n employees list. You write a query like this. What is select what? Number, name, salary plus what's it? What this is? Dense rank over what? Order by salary descending as RNK from EMP. But you want top n, top 5. Then where RNK less than or equals to 5. This is possible or not possible? Not possible. Because alias cannot be used in what's it? Where class. Alias cannot be used in where class. And then what? Alias cannot be used in where class because the problem is order of execution. First, it executes where class. So at the time of executing where class, SQL Server don't know what is RNK. Then it gives error. Then what? Derived tables. Then what? So what is select what? Derived table. How to use the derived table? Select star from. You write this subquery. Okay, na? Write the subquery here. Then, so which is executed first? Subquery is executed first. When subquery is executed, RNK is declared or not? Yes. So next we can use RNK in outer query. We can use RNK in outer query. Yes, because it is declared in what? Inner query. We can use this in outer query. So first you are declaring the alias. After that you are using the alias. That is okay. But first you cannot use. After that you cannot declare. Sir, first declare then use. First declare the alias, then use the alias. In programming languages, first declare the variable, then use the variable. First we cannot use the variable, later declare the variable. Okay, here also first declare, then use. Okay, na? Then so you are declaring the alias in inner query. You are using the alias in what? outer query. Now it will work. Again, this is okay. What this gives? The top 5 employees list. But what user want? So you want to make this value what's the dynamic. Dynamically you want to pass the value. Then what? Create what's that? Function. Create function. So create or alter function. Function name get top n employee list. Then what should be passed? D integer. What returns what's that? Table as then what return statement. Return statement. Not 5, sorry, not 5. What? At the rate what? D. D or N, anything, whatever. Okay, now? Then if N. Okay, let's say N because we said top N, no? N. So then plus it becomes easy for the like what front end developers because they can't write these type of complex queries to get the top n employees. They can't write these type of queries. Okay, because they don't know the subqueries, derived tables, okay, dense rank. So then you create a function. There is a front end requirement. What is the front end requirement? They want to see the top 10. They want to in their web application. They want to show top 10. Then they can't write this type of queries. So then what? You create a function. Give this function to the front end developer. Okay. So ask him to what? Whenever you want top n employees list, just simply execute this function. How to execute the function? Okay. How to execute the function? Like this. What? Select. Execution. Execution is what? Select what? Star. Select star from dbo dot what? Get top n employee what's that? List. Get top n employees list. Then at the rate is variable name. Then you have to pass the value. So what is the value? Suppose 5. Then what it this gives? The top 5 employees. Okay. Then okay. So now run this here. Then so what it is giving? Top 5. 3 what? Top 3. 10 top 10. So if you change the value, then what, like now it becomes easy for the front end developers. Yes. Okay, then. Okay, then. So this is top, how to get top n employees. By using with the help of table valued function, it is simplified. Yes or no? Now, this is one. Another one, sometimes they want latest to 5. What's that? Latest to 5. Huh? Latest to 5. Latest. Top is different, latest is different. I want, suppose here, there is a table. Just 1 second. What is transactions table? Transaction ID, transaction type, transaction date, transaction amount, account number. Okay, na? Then ID, type, date, amount, account number. Okay, then. So now this table contains customer transactions. All the customers, whenever customer go to ATM, do the transaction, it is recorded in what's that? Transactions table. All customer transactions are recorded in this table. This table is given to you. From this table, what they're asking is, they want what? I want latest 5 transactions of particular customer. Latest 5 transactions. Then tell me how you write the query. Latest 5. One second. Select what? ID, type, date, amount. Next one, account number. You want all the data. Then next. What count? I don't want. I don't need how many transactions. I want to see latest 5. Then first arrange bus. Arrange what? Sir, once again. Select star from what? Transactions. This query gives what? All the transactions. But I don't want all. I want particular customer. Because I want only particular customer latest 5 transactions. Where account number equal to so and so. Account number equal to so and so. Account number is something. So that particular customer transactions. Yes or no? But he has done some transactions in so many days, so many months, number of, but I don't want all. I want to check only latest 5. Then first, then do one thing. Arrange what's that? Date wise. Arrange what? Date wise. I want to show today's record first. Today is what? 11th February. Next, yesterday record. Next, day before yesterday, something. Arrange this date wise. And after arranging the date wise, then give the row number. Give the what's it? Row number. Row number 1, row number 2, this, row number 3, like this. Because if you give the row number, easily you can select first 5. Latest 5. Okay, na? Then what? Just give the row numbers. Okay, na? Row number 1, row number 2, row number 3, row number 4, like this. Give the row numbers. Okay, then how to give the row numbers? Row numbers, not rank. Rank is different. Row numbering is different. So select star, comma, then row number. Star means selecting all the fields plus row number. What do you want? Row number, then over, then order by, but transaction date wise, but ascending or descending. Today's record first, yesterday record next, then descending order. Okay, now understood? Descending means today's record first, yesterday record next. Ascending means yesterday record first, today's record next. Then descending as what? RNO. as RNO. Then what this gives? This gives what, sir? Row numbers for every transaction of this customer. This customer has done hundreds of transactions. All the hundreds of transactions are sorted in what? Date wise. So which one is arranged first? Today's record. Next one, yesterday's record. Next, 10th. Assume the customer has done, every day he has done one transaction. 8th February. Next one, 7th February. Next one, 6th February. Every day he has done the transaction. Like it will show the list of transactions. All the transactions done by the customer. Then you given the row number. What is the row number of this? 1. What is the row number of this? 2. What is the row number of this? 3. What is the row number of this? 4, 5, 6, 7, like this. Okay. Then for every transaction, you are giving the row number. Yes. Now from this list, what do you want? First 5. If you select first 5, then latest 5. If you select first 5 rows from this list, then what? Latest 5. How to select first 5 rows? How to select first 5 rows? Where RNO less than or equals to 5. Can we give RNO less than or equal to 5? RNO is alias bars. Alias cannot be used in where class. Then what is the solution? Derived tables. You know that. So what is select star? Select star from what? Select star from. Then select star from what? Transactions where account number equal to so and so. Next one, where what? Where row number less than or equals to 5. Then what you will get? Inner query returns what, boss? Inner query returns customer 100 transactions. Customer 100 transactions of customer 100. And all the transactions are arranged in what? Date wise descending. Latest is to first, earliest is last. And for every transaction, you are giving what? Row number. But I don't want all. I want to see first 5 because you want latest 5. If you want latest 5, select row num up to 5. If you select row num up to 5, then you'll get latest 5. Yes or no? Then row num less than or equals to 5. But what I want is, I want to make this value what's her? Dynamic. What do you want to make dynamic? Account number. Because always this customer will not, only this customer latest 5, you will not ask only is like different customers will ask. Yes or no? So this account number, I want to make this account number dynamic. I want to make this value also dynamic. Sometimes I want latest 5. Sometimes I want latest 10, latest 20. So I want to make these two values what? Dynamic. How to make the two values dynamic? Create a what? Function. Create or what? Alter function. Get what? Get what, sir? Latest transactions. Then what should be passed to this one? One is account number. One is what? N value. N value. Latest N value. Then next returns what? Table. Then what? As. Then what? Return statement. Then return statement. Okay. Next return statement. Then so where row number less than or equals to 5. Then tell me what is the account number? At the rate what? Account number. What is 5? At the rate what's that? N. That's all. So what is this function gives? Whenever you execute the function, this gives what? Latest N transactions of particular customer. Latest N transactions of what? Particular customer. That's all. Then, so what is this is from this table? Now create a function. Create a function to return what? Latest N transactions of particular customer. There are two requirements. One is top 5 employees. Okay. Then that is one. Second one, latest Okay. Now, top 5 means you have to use dense rank. Latest means you have to use row number. But in programming languages, okay, now what you write like step 1, step 2, step 3 like this. If you go through the program, you'll understand what the first step, what the next, second step, third step. But this is what query. Okay, now everything is there in this one query. But to understand this, what how you understand this? How to understand this query? Simply, if you read this query, you won't understand. Here, okay, I explained. You can understand this. But if you see some query, one query is like this, some query is like this. But then what you have to do is first you have to analyze one by one what this gives. Okay, na? What is inner query gives. Then you have to analyze this. What is inner query? Okay, then. So next, what is outer query? Okay, na? Actually, why is writing this? Why is not writing in one query? Why is writing subquery? Okay, na? Why is writing the subquery? Then actually, what is the requirement? So you have to understand like this. Okay, na? Then why is giving this where condition? If where condition is not given, then what it gives? All transactions of all the customers. But he's asking what particular customer. That's why he's giving the where condition. Why is using the row number? For generating what? Row numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. He is giving the row numbers based on the what? Transaction date wise. Okay, na? Then you have to analyze, boss. If you analyze, then you'll understand. Simply by see the query, read the query, you won't. Okay. Next, why is using what? Derived table. Okay, na? Why is using the derived table? So why can't we use? Can we do this without derived table? Okay. Then so how to see? Just can we write this condition in one query? In inner query, can we write this condition? No, because what is R invoice? Alias. Alias cannot be used. So that's why he's using what? Derived table. Okay. Then you have to, but I cannot create this. because the table should be there. Then how to execute this one? How to execute? Select star from what? DBO dot get latest transactions. Then first one account number 100. Next one number 5. So 100 is passed to what? Account number. 5 is passed to at the rate. Then what is this query returns? Customer 100 transactions. Latest 5 transactions of customer 100. Yes or no? Okay. Then. So sometimes if you go to banking apps, there is a called view statement. You select view statement, but it will show options. Last 10 days, last 1 month, like that. If I say last 10 days, then it will show today is what? 11th. Then it will start from February 1st to February 10th or February 2nd to February 11th, like that. Last 10 days. Yes. Now tell me, I want last 10 days transactions of particular customer. Not only 10 days, n days. If I pass 10, 10. If I pass 20, 20. If I pass 30, 30. Then tell me what changes you have to make. First, that's all boss. Here, if they want function, but first write the query. First, okay, na? First find the query. Find the query to get last 10 days transactions of particular customer. Then tell me how. What is the query? Particular customer, last 10 days transactions. Then what? Select what's it? Start from what? What is the table? Transactions table. Next one, where what? Account number equal to so and so 100. So this gives customer 100 transactions, all the transactions, but I don't want all. I want only last 10 days. Then what? Last 10 days. N. Latest to 5. Latest to 10 means n is required. Row number is required. But last 10 days. Date is there now. Transaction date is there. Today is 11. Then select the transaction starting from what? Where end is there? Where is there? End what? Transaction date. Transaction date. Between okay, between what? 10 days back to today. Between what? 10 days back to today. How? How to get the 10 days back date? Simple. Not date. Date. DD. Minus 10. Then what? Get date. And get date. Otherwise, why instead of between? Transaction date greater than equals to. Then what? Date tag. Then DD. Next one, minus 10. Then what? Get date. What is this query? What is this expression returns? Today is 11th, boss. Get date is 11. What is this returns? Date. What date it returns? 1st February. Today is 11th, na? 11 minus 10. Then 1st February. Transaction date greater than or equal to what? 1st February. transaction date greater than or equal to 1st February. That means whatever transactions you are done after 1st February, all the transactions are selected. Yes, that means what it just gives last 10 days. Okay, na? I want to make these two values dynamic. This 10 days or 20 days or 30 days, I want to make this value dynamic. Account number also I want to make dynamic. Then what? Create a what, sir? Function. What? Create or alter function. Get what? Okay, na? Last what? End days. Last end days. Then account number, integer. Next one. N what's it? Integer. Days D. Let's say D. Integer. Next returns what? Returns table. As what? As return. As return. Then so select star from what? Transactions where account number equals to. Where account number equals to. Next one. Then so account number equals to. Next close bracket. Then what is this 100? At the rate account number. What is 10? At the rate what? D. The value passed to D is 10. Then this becomes minus 10. Understood now? The value passed to D is 20. Then this becomes minus 20. Then it selects all the transactions starting from last 20 days. Yes. That's it. Okay. Then your row number is required. Not required. Okay. Then so what this is? This is what? Create a function to return what? Last n days transactions of what? Particular customer. Then now, so this is what table valued functions. Okay, then next, then that's all. So there are two, scalar valued and table valued. So we completed these two procedures, stored procedures and functions. Now, so there are some questions. What is the difference between what procedures and functions? Procedures and functions. Difference between procedures and functions. Procedures and functions. What? First one, procedures what may or may not returns a value, but function must return a value. Next one, second, procedures may or may not returns, but function must return a value. Procedures, okay. Procedures can return how many values? Procedures can return how many? How procedure returns values? How procedure returns values? By using output parameter. You take one output parameter, then one value. You take two output parameters, then two values. You take three output parameters, returns three values. So procedures can return what? Multiple values. Function always returns what? One value. Okay, then procedures can return multiple. You take two out parameters, returns two. Three output parameters, three. But can you write two return statements? Can you write two return statements in function? Can we write two return statements? No. So that's why function always returns what? One value. Next, procedures returns values using what? Procedures returns values using output parameter. Procedures returns values using output parameter, whereas function returns value using what? Return statement. Procedures returns values using output parameter, whereas function returns values using return statement. Okay. Next, procedures. Okay, procedures. Procedures cannot be called from what? In procedures, you cannot call the procedure from SQL commands. We created a procedure, debit. We created a procedure, what's that? Debit procedure. Or you created a procedure, raise salary. Yes or no? You want to call this, I want to call the procedure. Then can we call the procedure from select statement? USP underscore raise underscore salary. So employee number 7844,000 at the rate what's that? D something like, can we call like this? No. You cannot call what? You cannot call this procedure from what? Select statement. Procedures cannot be called from select statement. Okay. But functions can be called from what? Select statement. Not only select statement, SQL commands. So procedures cannot be called from SQL commands. Procedures cannot be called from, cannot be executed from SQL commands, but functions can be executed from what? Executed from SQL commands. Procedures cannot be executed from SQL commands. Functions can be called executed from SQL commands. So inside the procedure, procedure allows DML commands. In procedure, can we execute DML commands in procedure? In procedure, can we write DML commands? Yes or no? Yes, insert, update, delete. Actually, procedures are created for that. But in functions, we cannot execute DML commands. If you execute DML commands from function, it gives what? Error. Like you can execute only select statement. You cannot execute insert, update, delete. Suppose, for example, create or just listen, alter function. Okay, na function F1. Suppose @envo integer. Return what's that? Integer. Returns integer as next one begin. What I'm doing is update EMP set salary equal to salary plus 1000, where employee number equals to envo. Because function should return a value, I'm returning 1. Return statement is must in function, so compulsory should return the value. What I'm trying in this program, I'm executing update command from F1. From this function, I'm executing what? Update command. What is update is DML command. So you're trying to execute DML command from function. Let's check whether it is allowed or not. So let me run this. What is invalid use of update within a what? Function. Invalid use of update within a function. Okay, na? In function, update is not allowed. What about delete? Delete from EMP. Is delete is allowed? Invalid use of delete within a function. So that means all these commands are what? Not allowed. DML commands are what? Not allowed in function. But they are allowed in procedures? Yes. Then so procedures allows DML commands. That means we can execute DML commands in procedures. Okay, na? Then so okay, like we can execute what? DML commands. We can execute DML commands in procedures, but we cannot execute what? Then can't execute what? DML commands in functions. Functions doesn't allow DML. Select is allowed both. Select is allowed in both. In procedures, every command is allowed, but functions DMLs are not allowed. Okay, then next. So procedures are created for what? Procedures are created to perform some action like what? Insert, update, delete on database table. What for functions are created? Functions are created for calculations. Procedures are created to insert, update, delete. Functions are created for calculations. Like you want to calculate tax, you want to calculate order amount. Okay, for calculations, we create what function? Okay, then next. And procedures. Okay, procedures. Okay, procedures. Then so like procedures. Okay, procedures are created. Okay, created uh, like create procedure. Sorry, create procedure to update balance. Example, create procedure to update balance and create function to get the balance. Create function to get balance. If you want to get the balance, create function. If you want to update the balance, create procedure. Okay, that's all. So these are the what differences. Okay, then for the first one, procedures what may or may not return say value, but function must return a value. Procedures can return what multiple, but function always returns one value. Procedure returns values using what output parameter. Function returns values using return statement. Procedures cannot be called from what SQL commands. Functions can be executed from SQL commands. So we can execute DML commands in procedures. In procedures, DML commands are allowed, but in functions, DML commands are not allowed. So procedures are created to perform actions like insert, update, delete. Functions are created for calculations. So if you want to update the balance, create procedure. If you want to get the balance, create function. So this is differences between procedures and functions. Okay. Now, next another one, difference between what scalar and what table valued functions. Scalar and table valued functions. Okay, then so scalar and table valued function. Scalar valued functions returns what? Returns one value, but table valued function returns what? Returns records. Returns one value, but returns records. Okay, then. So what the return type is? Return type. Return type of this function must be, return type must be scalar types like integer, varchar, money, etc. Okay, then what is the return type? Table value. Return type must be what? Table. Return type must be table. Okay, next one. What is the written expression here in scalar? Scalar functions. What is the written expression? Written expression is what? Scalar variable. You see that functions. CALC. What you return? Return at the rate C. Return at the rate C. What is at the rate C? Variable. Scalar variable. Next one. Order amount. Return order amount. Total amount. At the rate total amount. What is the total amount is? Variable. Money type variable. So in here in scalar functions, what the return expression is? Return expression is what? Scalar variable. Scalar variable. Here, what is the return expression? Return expression is what? Huh? Here, return expression is what? Select statement. Here, return expression is what? Select statement. You see that return bars, what you return? Here you write select statement. Yes or no? Return expression is select statement. But here in the previous examples, what is the return expression? See this total amount. Total amount is what? Variable. Variable of money type. In the previous, what return expression is what? Here return expression is S. What is return S? What is S? Varchar variable. Yes or no? Previous one. Return C. What is C? What is C? C is a variable of what? Integer type. So here, so return expression is scalar variable, but in table valued, return expression is what? Select statement. Yes or no? Then. Another one. Another one. Here, then. Where you call scalar functions are invoked in what? Execution. In execution, scalar functions are called in scalar functions are called in what? Scalar valued functions are called in select class. Table valued functions are called in from class. Then these functions called in what? Select class, and these functions called in from class. Sir, if anything is returning a value, you can call it in select. If anything is written the records, you can call it in from. If returning a value means you can call it in select. Returning records means you can call it in from class. So scalar valued functions returns a value. So that's why you call it in select. Table valued functions returns what? Records. You can call it in from class. That's how. This is what difference between scalar and what? Table valued function. Okay. Oh. SP, sorry. So it will show the code. If you want to see the procedure function code, you can see this by using this command. You can see the code. SP help text procedure. If you want to see the code, okay, now SP help text USP underscore debit. So debit procedure code. You can see the debit procedure code. Okay, command to see the procedure function code. Yeah, but if you want to make any changes, then what? If you want to make the changes, then first open this procedure. How to open the procedure? Yeah, first open the procedure. How to open the procedure? Okay, yeah. So if you want to open procedure, then what? Then first open the procedure. How? See, programmability. Next one, what? What is the procedure? You want to open debit procedure. So right click, what's the modify? And debit procedure code opens. Here you make the changes. Here you make the changes, then click what? Execute. Then it will recompile. Okay, then. Understood? No. So this is command to see the code, procedure code. So command to see the procedure function code. SP help text procedure name. Okay, then that's all. This is what about what then procedures and functions. Okay, now then. So one is left. What that is? Triggers. Triggers. Then. Then. So now what is trigger? What for triggers are created? Okay, what is trigger? What for triggers are created? Trigger is also a what? Trigger. Trigger is also a what? Named TSQL block like procedure. Trigger is also a named TSQL block like procedure, but executed what? Implicitly by SQL Server whenever user submits DML or DDL commands. And so this is the definition of a trigger. A trigger is also a named TSQL block like procedure, but executed implicitly by SQL Server. Okay, then a named TSQL block like procedure, but executed implicitly by SQL Server whenever user submits DML or DDL commands. You know, so what is the difference between a procedure and a trigger? It is also like a procedure. What the difference is? After you create the procedure, procedures are what? Executed explicitly. You create the procedure. Next, the procedure is automatically executed. No, you have to execute. You have to call the procedure. Yes or no? So after creating the procedure, you execute the procedure. You call the procedure. But triggers, after creating the trigger, we don't call the trigger. We don't execute the trigger. Trigger executes what? Automatically, implicitly by SQL Server. Procedures and functions are executed explicitly. Triggers are executed what? Implicitly. We don't call the trigger. Triggers are executed what? Automatically. When trigger is executed, trigger executes automatically whenever you submit what? DML and what's it? DDL commands. When you submit DML and DDL commands, trigger executes what? Automatically. Okay, then. So now, so this is actually what is trigger is a program that executed by SQL Server. Procedures and functions are created by user, executed by user. Triggers are created by user, executed by SQL Server. We don't call the trigger. Okay, na? Then. So why you create triggers? What? Okay, na? Triggers are created. One is to triggers are created. One purpose is so to control DML or DDL actions. Triggers are created to control the DML or DDL actions. Okay, then to control the DML or DDL actions, and triggers are created to, we'll discuss, enforce complex rules and validations. Created to enforce complex rules and validations. And triggers are created to audit, okay, no? Like to audit operations on tables. Audit operations on tables. Okay, then next one. Triggers are created to manage replicas. Triggers are created to generate values for primary key columns. So these are the purpose of creating triggers. To control the DML or DDL, to enforce complex rules and validations, to audit operations, to manage replicas, to generate values for primary key columns. Okay, so this is the purpose of creating triggers. Okay, then. So we'll see Monday.